Long days in my family's shop and working late into the night on Shawnee Springs 54 have become the norm for me. All my personal projects, including Mrs. Shoprat's JKU, have been pretty much put on hold. Like most projects of this nature, things are much worse than we originally thought. This rust or cancer in the metal doesn't concern me. I'll get it knocked out, no problem. Building a custom one-off Y block, again, not very concerned. It's going to say potato and run just fine. But a painter I am not. More specifically, a letterer. And I needed somebody that could lay down the fine lines to save this old one-shot that has survived from 1954. So only one person came to mind. My buddy Skratch of Skratch's Garage. Skratch is one of the baddest pinstripers in the world, and his latest project, The Return of the Head Scratcher, proves he can build one badass hot rod. Not to mention his career has been quite extensive, filming 4 or 5 seasons of overhauling with the legendary car builder Chip Foose, and even making guest appearances on Full Custom Garage with Ian Russell. Our paths happened to cross while I was filming Truck Night in America. I never thought in a million years I'd have the opportunity to actually work with him, but we stayed in touch and we made it happen. For now though, I'm going to stop talking so y'all can watch the legend work. Impressive, right? Now, I had stared at these doors in this truck for hours. However, I had never noticed on the passenger side the original person that had lettered the truck had signed his work. Come to find out, he was a local back in the 50s and 60s that did a lot of sign work here in the Winchester, Virginia area, especially in Frederick County for the local farm markets. His name was Tom D. Holterman, and you can't see it very well in that last shot, but it's there, and Skratch found it. With that being said, The driver's door was destroyed and you couldn't see his name, so I had Skratch sign that one. But he was able to preserve and save the original letter. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get a whole lot done the first day. I was watching in amazement of Skratch doing his craft. I wanted to document it also, and Shawnee Springs did as well, so it took a lot of time just sitting there recording him doing his thing. But when he got done, the paint had to dry and set up before we could move on to the next stage. So I hopped in with him and we started buffing out the front clip. Some Scotch-Brite pads and some dish soap did the trick. At one point, Skratch even goes over to the cab and starts buffing the oxidation off of that, trying to get a sense of what's actually going to happen and what needs to be done to save the original paint and the original patina. Now the color changes once we do this, which I'll show here in a second. The oxidation is lifting, the rust is starting to get smoothed out, so the texture and the feel of this paint change as we go through this process. Now with that being done, you can really start to see the primer and paint pop. And with the undertones of the patina coming through, this thing is going to look good when it's done. Now we let the front clip and the paint dry overnight, but the next morning Skratch is right back at it, trying to get this oxidation off the original paint on the doors. Now he's not worried about getting too close to the lettering we just did, because again, we're actually trying to preserve what was already there. We just touched it up. We're going to end up blending this all in and making it look as original as possible. But we need to get the doors apart so we can cut the bottoms off and get the new patch panels in. Now Skratch continued working on the patch panels for the doors in the background, as you can see, but I had my own patch panels to deal with. And once I got the driver and passenger side cut loose, I realized that the floorboard continues in behind these pieces, and I had gotten the cart before the horse, if you will. So I stopped and I started working on something else. Once again, we had to divide and conquer. That way we can get as much done as possible while Skratch is up here for the week. I cut out some angle iron, that way I can weld them into the cab, so when the floor gets dropped out, the cab won't distort. It'll be exactly where we need it to be to put the new floorboard in. Hate to interrupt, but that's the end of this video. The reason it's the end of the video is Skratch and I got together and we thought it wasn't fair to the project nor fair to you, the viewer, if we condensed this week's worth of work down to just 20 or 30 minutes. Nor would it be entertaining if we did a big, long 3-hour video, because I'm going to fall asleep halfway through it and you're likely just to click off and never finish, right? So, multiple segments, multiple videos is what we're going to be doing for this project. We think that's going to be best for not only the project, but you guys as well. Make sure you find Skratch's Garage on most of your social media platforms. You can find them just about anywhere. Make sure you check out Rod and Style TV, because he did a build with that channel called Return of the Head Scratcher. That hot rod, mwah, it was beautiful. Came out phenomenal. He got it ready in the nick of time. He's now back in Texas.
Got it all the way back out to California for the Grand National Roadshow. Car was money. I can't say enough good things about that build. So, since we're breaking this up into multiple segments, hit that like, subscribe, leave a comment down below what you want to see, and the notification bell is key, so that way you know when the next one's going to drop. Now, I also recently became an ambassador for Racers Coffee Company. They hit me up about a month ago, and I didn't hesitate and said yes, because I've already been using Kevin's products for probably 3 years now. Some of the best Java on the market, in my opinion. Not to mention it's veteran owned and operated, and he supports off-roading. They support racing, many different platforms of racing, so it was kind of a no-brainer for me. So there's going to be a link down in the description for Racers Coffee Company. If you click that link, I get a kickback. Full disclosure, what am I doing with the kickback? I'm not sticking it in my pocket. It's so I can, bring Skratch back hopefully later on in this project, and then I have other projects, other ideas up here in this huge noggin of mine that I want to get out, which means I want to bring other cool people here to Northern Virginia, up to Cross Junction, Virginia, so we can do something just rad and different and cool, just build fun stuff that you guys want to see, hopefully. So, again, Racers Coffee Company, link down in the description. Click, find something you like, buy it. It helps me out. All right, so I think I've done enough rambling, right? On to the next video. Come on!